Hello guys, it's Christopher Disciple Allen, and here we have a high-level scrim between two very good teams. On the blue side, we have what is most of Complexity Black. We have Impactful as the AD carry, though, subbing over from Complexity Red. Then there's Bubadub, who we are familiar with on the team, Prawley in the mid lane. Captain Ziploc coming in for the jungle, and Westrice up top playing Rise. Kind of new flavor of the month, I would say. Over on the red team, we have vVv, Chris up in the top lane, Get Snuggled, will be jungling, Peck and Woof in the mid, and then Gonti and Tails in the bottom lane. Now this is a scrim between the two teams. It was spectatable, so hopefully I'm not giving away any trade secrets here. But I think we're just looking to have fun. I have been AFK for a little bit, just a few days to recover as I moved. It was kind of a crazy move. I posted an update video in case any of you guys didn't check it out, then go ahead, because I explained a lot of what's been going on and what the schedule is going to be like for the next little while. But for now, I'm just excited to be casting a game. Let's see, Chris up in the top lane, going in hard, throwing an Ignite down onto Westrice, and so much damage with the auto attacks in the hammer form. He switches into the range form. Westrice is falling so low, he flashes after. He's able to get it with the Shock Blast. Westrice didn't even use the flash to get away from that one. He didn't have the reflexes, and so Chris was able to grab a good chunk of change early on. Now, it wasn't worth the full 400 like it might have been later on. Ooh, Peck and Woof doing massive damage in the mid, but probably, escaping with his life. That Acathian surprise passive on Kog'Maw as well makes it very difficult to trade ahead with Kog'Maw early on, since when he pops that true damage on you, it can definitely even it out for a 1-for-1, which can just be a pain to go up against. So Chris, after shoving out that top lane, going to go ahead and go back with a lot of farm. Westrice was able to teleport top, so he won't fall quite so far behind, but still, there's that extra kill on Chris, which, like we said, although it wasn't worth 400 gold, will probably be worth about 300, which will be nice, as we can see there in the double Doran's blades and the boots already coming out here before 4 minutes in the game. Gonti playing carefully around that Zyra. Now, Morgana is an interesting pick against Zyra. It can definitely keep you from getting caught out by the ranged snare. However, Zyra is a pretty effective champion at breaking down that black shield, so if she's able to get on a lot of damage from the Q first, burst it down, and then get the crowd control, the knockup from the Stranglethorns, as well as the snare from the Grasping Roots, then it can really make Morgana a little obsolete. Bubadub's damage should be higher at most points in this game. Gonti really has to rely on the control Morgana brings, more so than what Bubadub can throw out with his plants. In terms of damage, Peck and Woof, ooh, he's going to go in for a good amount of harass on the Prawley, who isn't going to have the strongest laning phase here, although he's pushing up quite a bit, using that Void Ooze to push out the lane, and then try and get some harass on the Peck and Woof. He has to be careful he doesn't get caught out, especially by a gank, because if Get Snuggled just breathes on the mid lane, I'm not sure Prawley's going to be able to escape from much. Oh, there's the snare landing, putting down so much damage, and Peck and Woof escaping with pretty much a full health bar. Oh, here's Get Snuggled, jumping into the bottom lane. He has his red buff, but isn't able to get anywhere to apply it. Just goes right back to wait in the bush. He knows that it's not warded because of this pink ward, and so he can just stay patiently, trying to jump on the Bubadub, who doesn't have an escape. Same with Impactful, really. He can blow either of their flashes if he gets in at the right time. Chris in the top lane in a 1 versus 2 as Captain Ziploc makes a little bit of an appearance, but neither of these junglers really able to find a solid gank. And so instead, it'll just be, ooh, Chris not able to interrupt that recall, but I think he'll be happy to have the 1 versus 1 lane anyway. Peck and Woof forcing out Prawley, going to get well ahead in farm, which is pretty difficult to do as a LeBlanc in lane. LeBlanc has never been known for her wave clear. You can typically get shoved up to turret pretty easily, but now after being able to recall here, this should be a good opportunity for LeBlanc to potentially roam later on. Get Snuggled once again looking toward this bottom lane, but not able to find anything. Will push some recalls out from both Bubadub and Impactful, which means Tails and Gonti pushing out this lane, going to go back with a decent amount of gold. Taking a look at the farm though, Impactful over a wave ahead even before that last one was cleared out, so that'll... Oh, Impactful didn't actually end up recalling there. Color me Chartreuse and call me Patrice because I was incorrect. Oh, we can now see Captain Ziploc looking to make a move in this bottom lane, but he'll step right over a ward in that tri-bush, have to fall back, and Tails and Gingonti can stay there relatively safely. They're not in danger of dying, but Tails is just so careful of Impactful with the bouncing blades, able to deal some massive damage early on in the game. What most champions would need a BF sword to be able to do, Impactful can just do by the sheer power of Draven. Oh, Pekka and Wolf taking some poke in the middle lane, really looking for an opportunity to get in. Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris winning the 1 versus 1. Now, the Spectator Client didn't think I needed to see it, but I think I wish I would have seen it. I don't know that this matchup is interesting enough to warrant a rewind, though, since Chris is already getting pretty far ahead, and that's just something that Chris does. Chris wins top lane a lot. There's something that we didn't see too much of during the LCS over the last summer split, which I think is kind of a big disappointment to us all, because Chris has really been dominating the challenger scene. Sometimes his teams can fail in terms of shot calling later on in the game. They can throw it at fights. They can just have less than superior team fighting in general. I think the term, I guess, would be inferior. But Chris wins lane so much, and we're going to see that right here, playing the top lane Jace, which hasn't seen a lot of play recently. I'm curious if that's a new strategy coming out, or just a little experiment they're throwing into this game. Up against a Ryze, though, it's clearly very strong, since Westryce definitely not a pushover himself. Having a pretty hard time against that Jace. There is the Hex Drinker Rush that we see also often against a magic damage, especially a dual magic damage team with the AP Kog'Maw and the Ryze in the top lane. Let's talk about AP Kog'Maw a little bit, since that's not something we see all too often. Prawley will be grabbing out that blue buff, using it to poke a lot, which is the strong suit here. The range on the Bioarcane Barrage. Living Artillery. Bioarcane Barrage is his W, of course. Of his Living Artillery really gives him so much utility in fights. Oh, Pekka and Wolf gonna come in with a lot of damage, but then probably using that range to turn right back around, not getting the damage or the vision. Ooh, there, popping the passive with the Living Artillery, and that just gives him so much utility. Pekka and Wolf's gonna go in with the double dash. Probably's ignited. He's trying to throw the Acathian Surprise on himself. Or the Living Artillery. The Acathian Surprise comes out, but he's just not in range. Pekka and Wolf is gonna be able to safely recall. And that was probably getting a little outplayed. He has a very hard time up against LeBlanc, who can dodge around his abilities, who can get up in his face, and can abuse the lack of mobility in the bottom lane. Bubbed Up and Impactful looking so strong. Tails moving back into the lane, going to be stopped into his tracks. Captain Ziploc moving in. He lands the explosive cast, pops Tails right back, and that'll be an easy kill. Impactful ringing in the gold. Getting the League of Draven passive, cashing in the Adoration stacks, now moving on towards the Dragon, which will be the first attempt of the game. And although these teams are essentially dead even in gold, this will be a huge pickup. So up to this point, vVv had taken 100% of the kills. They were 4-0, but then Impactful grabbed a single kill, and along with his very high farm, they're able to actually bring the gold in their lead now with a 500 advantage. Chris looks to turn that around up in the top lane, going in for the dive onto Chris. Gets Snuggle taking quite a bit of turret damage, but he's able to jump out, transfer the aggro right back over to the minions. Chris not only able to assist with that kill, but take the turret shortly after. Will bring his team up into the gold lead again. So we now have vVv with their 4-kill advantage. Looking pretty strong in the game. They have some very good snowballing champions. They have a LeBlanc, they have a Kha'Zix. They have a Jace who we don't see too much of, but once he gets some kills can deal just almost intolerable damage. Ooh, with his accelerated shock blast, Pekka and Wolf just trying to stay in, deal as much damage as possible with the blue buff. He's not punished too heavily for using his cooldown, since he'll be back up shortly. They don't cost too much mana that'll miss. Snowgold has been spending what feels like a lot of time in the jungle, but because he's Kha'Zix, because he can get gold out of the jungle creeps and turn that into quite a bit of damage for himself, he's just going to be able to stay in on these camps and then move into lanes when he sees a kill to pick up. That's why he's 2-0, and that's why he has a solid amount of farm on him. Captain Ziploc has played the same way, since Gragas isn't naturally the best ganker. And so he's just spent a lot of time getting some CS on himself, trying to build up to that secondary AP carry. We're going to see the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith coming out from him as his first major item. Who gets snuggled, caught out here in the jungle by Westrice. He's going to throw a scanning trinket, but not be able to pick up that ward. Peckinwolf and get snuggled, pushing out this middle lane together. And oh, Chris is on fire. Let's go ahead and see exactly where he began his thirst for blood there. Ooh, catching Ziploc out right around the raise. He flashes in and knocks him away, but he still has enough damage with the accelerated shock blast. Probably barely escaping. It was the fat body of Gragas which blocked that accelerated shock blast from connecting. Westrice tapping into that power, clearing out the wave, just trying to keep his turret alive, but it looks like they're not looking too strong. Ooh, impactful. Bring in that second kill. Looking to become a very strong Draven. Now Chris, he waits until impactful spinning axes are down, jumps in, and they burst him down so heavily to taste their fear, dealing some massive isolated damage. Bubbadub trying to escape, but I don't think he'll be quite so lucky. Gets snuggled, gets in there with the taste their fear, and is he going to be able to escape? No, he does go down. A shutdown there to Bubbadub will at least return a good amount of gold, but still a 1,000 lead to vVv. Going to potentially increase here as they work down on this bottom turret. That'll be 2 down to the 0 of complexity black/red. Oh, it sails. Oh, it sails. Cool guys don't look at explosions, and neither do fat Germans, as he throws explosive cask and walks away in style. And woof, gonna move up to the top lane. Westrice has been having his way up here. Still hasn't applied a lot of turret damage, but is getting up a good amount of farm. He's 0-4-0, which looks pretty rough, but since he's a Rise, as long as he makes it into the late game, he should be pretty strong. Just being able to build up a good amount of mana and ability power to just be a machine gun in the late game, dishing out spell after spell, layering on damage while surviving quite a bit. Now Chris will have a slightly different build. He has to build a lot more attack damage to remain relevant in the game. That's why we see this BF sword going into a Bloodthirster. That'll make his accelerated shock blast really tear apart this line on complexity black/red/cognitive. Oh, Captain Ziploc. Gets snuggled, moving into the bottom lane, and Impactful tries to turn around. He's able to get the double go. What? What just happened? Oh, man, I need to watch this again. All right, let me see this. Okay, so we have Impactful going in hard on the turret. Gets snuggled, comes in. There's Tails with the coling, and is able to take out Bubbadub, but Impactful turns around. There is the Whirling Death, dealing some massive damage. Tails falls immediately, and then Impactful picking up with the spinning axes. That is such an excellent double kill. Ooh, man. Oh, rest in peace, sweet prince. Chris comes in from the side, and he wants his own double for the taking. There we go. Picking up Westrice immediately after, and Chris looking strong here, 504. Sitting on a good amount of gold himself, 1,032. Peck and Woof. Not going to fall to the Cathian surprise. Kog'Maw having a really hard time getting in on the Peck and Woof, who usually has that distortion, either the return or even the burst coming back up to jump away and keep Kog'Maw from running back in for a little bit of suicide bombery. With that entire play, it did give a couple kills over to Impactful, which will help him get up to his Bloodthirster and then build the Zeal on top of that. But the rest of his team is just so far behind. 0-5-0 on Rise. We have a 2-death Prawley who still hasn't found a kill to his name, and he's about 20 CS behind Peck and Woof. The items still aren't showing the whole picture. Because Lucian hasn't been able to grab that first major item, it looks like he's actually going for an Infinity Edge first. Now, it works on Lucian because of his Gunslinger passive. You can potentially get a double crit on your Gunslinger, and that can be some enormous burst damage, more potential than even Trinity Force. And that is a fact that Freak might disagree with. Oh, Bubba Dub, he's going to be able to throw in that seed, spot them out, but at what cost? Captain Ziploc trying to jump away throws the explosive cask, and he might actually escape as yet. The rest of the fight reigns on as Peckinwolf finally grabs the kill. Crawley finding a double for himself, though, using that living artillery. The flash out of Peckinwolf going to go right into West Rice, who's looking to pick up his very first kill. Peckinwolf goes down. I wasn't exactly sure where all the damage came from, but with Rise, it apparently can come from nowhere. West Rice grabs his first kill and a shutdown onto Peckinwolf. Now looking to move in to take their second turret of the game. They did grab the bottom one earlier, and with the Siege Minion, this will surely be their second. They're now in the gold lead, unless Snuggled can turn this around. No, the plant tanks up that accelerated shock blast, which allows Bubba Dub to live off the end. Impactful runs in with the spinning axes and looks to turn on the Chris, who takes massive damage but able to survive. Tails comes in with the piercing light and picks up yet another kill onto Impactful. He's now only 4-3, not looking quite so hot, and even though Tails is 1-4, the worst score on his team, he's looking pretty wealthy. He has 5,200 gold total under his belt, and he's getting closer and closer to an Infinity Edge, about 800 more gold, and he'll be able to pick it up. And like I said, that can scale very well into the late game. Now Draven will have a slightly easier time getting to his late game because of his passive. Taking a glance at what exactly he's picked up so far, that's 730 gold total, the equivalent of about 2 kills that he gets simply from the nature of his passive. Gets Snuggled, knocked back a little bit from that explosive cast, but able to grab out the dragon with his smite, playing that excellently, and bringing his team back in the lead. Now this is such a back and forth game. It's really going to, I think, be up to the AD carries here. Tails can get that Infinity Edge soon and start dealing massive damage, but he can't do too much with the level 1 coling off the side without even a Bloodthirster. That's going to be pitiful, as Gonti gets caught out without using the Soul Shackles. Morgana without a Zhonya's Hourglass as well. Not a particularly useful champion in team fights, since Morgana typically gets burst down so quickly before the Soul Shackles even comes out, as opposed to another support like Zyra, who can much more safely throw out the Strangle Thorns and then fall back to continue dishing out damage. Peckinwolf getting closer and closer to that Deathfire Grasp, but not many major items completed out here. We have a, oh, there's the Bloodthirster. Okay, so it wasn't Tails going for the early Infinity Edge. It was just a really weird build path he went. He stopped to get his pickaxe before he finished it out, which means that'll be the Bloodthirster into a Last Whisper for some heavy early game burst damage, and he won't be going with my plan. My plan at all. Peckinwolf taking some pain there from Zyra, but if you can ditch it, you better be able to take it. So it looks like Chris is looking pretty strong right now. There's the stacked Bloodthirster coming out, the Hexdrinker as well. 5-0 and 5 on Jace means he's not taking no shit from nobody. Oh, Gonti trying to throw down these wards. These are the little support battles that we see off on the side. Don't necessarily mean too much unless you can set them up for your team to collapse in on them, and then if you eliminate the support, that is a heavy amount of team-wide crowd control down automatically. Gonti building up towards Azanya's Hourglass, going to get to a really strong spot in these fights, but until she finishes it, like you said, without the stasis active, then Morgana probably won't be able to get off many full channel ults at all unless they're chasing. And oh, I don't think Morgana will be chasing anytime soon here. Tries to throw it, can't even get down the Soul Shackles, instead falls to the explosive cast. And Impactful's looking to go on a rampage. Oh, find some auto attacks on to get Snuggled. He turns around with a Taste Their Fear, but Get Snuggled has to get out of here. Pops the second active camouflage to move back out, and that's a bit of an awkward fight. Gonti, the only one to fall. So Complexity looking pretty strong now, moving in onto the inner turret. Tails there to defend, but he can't stick around for too long, especially on that amount of health. Impactful should be able to two-shot him with a spinning axe or two. Wolf moving back in here, dodges around from the living artillery, moves in and is able to take on vVv, but at what cost? He falls as a return kill. He gives up the assist as well. He keeps his turret alive, but not for long. Impactful certainly going to be looking towards the mid lane again, wanting to cause some more mischief with those spinning axes. As I miss the camera entirely, pay no attention to the man behind the mouse. Get snuggled, grabbing up 9 gold from the mini race. Congratulations, congratulations, Kha'Zix, you are our winner today. Come down to red buff to collect your prize. It goes over to tails. Plies is not a word. Well, technically it is. Not the word I was thinking of, though. Plies is most certainly a word. I teach kids how to read for a living. I should know that. Chris, continuing on his rampage. Not only is he the most fed member in the game in terms of kills, not counting Draven with his Pascal League of Draven, but Chris has the most CS, 175. That is some excellent top lane playing, and that is the kind of presence you can have if you win top lane that hard. Not only do you grab the kills, not only can you roam to help your team, but you can abuse your lane for all the CS you want, which is exactly what he's done. Now with the Brutalizer looking so strong, he's gonna wait here, land the Accelerated Shock Blast, but Westrice is pretty tanky. He has the Chain Fest, he's still gonna fall though. The health from the Rod of Ages not stacking up enough. Apparently, the killing, said a killing spree, but I'm pretty sure he's unstoppable at this point. Ooh, vVv turns around with a good amount of damage on the tails, but isn't able to finish him off. There's Daunty with the Soul Shackle, but Daunty has to run away. Impactful has joined the party if he has the Whirling Death under his belt. Does he? He does. There it is, Whirling Death coming across tails, throwing the barrier. He almost falls. That was so close, but the barrier just enough to save his life. His sweet, beautiful life. Oh, Chris coming up from behind, lands an Accelerated Shock Blast on the vVv. Kha'Zix was across the wall, but decided not to join it, and now Chris is on the lamb. Oh, coming back in, flashing the Grasping Roots from Zyra, but Impactful throwing the barrier. No, he's not able to live. Get Snuggled, comes in and picks up the kill with the Taste Their Fear. vVv going down as well. That is 2 kills picked up. And no Baron attempt yet. Although it's late enough in the game, they're just too afraid of the potential poke coming out from Prawley, as well as the explosive cast from Captain Ziploc. Not only is Gragas an excellent Baron stealer himself with the cask, but he has a Spite on him, which can make that the ultimate throw if one is to attempt it. However, looks like their dragon timers are on. They're going to gather around here just as it goes live and be able to take up yet some more global gold. Even with all the action going on back and forth, there's still only 400 between the two teams. Get Snuggled coming over to join his team. He hopes to change that. And although Dragon is still worth quite a bit into the later game, the gold doesn't matter nearly as much as the objectives do. And there's really not a huge difference in the objectives. Ooh, Tails culls the minions. And the camera goes top lane. Oh, Chris finds Westrice in a bad spot, throws the ward into the bush, and Westrice, oh, rests in pieces. Let's get another kill onto Westrice, his 7th death this game, not having quite the best score. Hopefully he can bring out the late game, though. It's a good thing it's in a solo queue, or else I'm sure he would be the recipient of one not too many friendly words. Wolf waiting in the wings for this assassination, but he is standing on top of a ward. Captain Ziploc is privy to his game, and although he got caught out by the slow, he won't be all too afraid. He has the happy hour passive to heal himself right back up and stay on in this mid lane where everyone has gathered for apparently no reason. Chris, pushing in the top lane, will be the only sane member until he recalls, most likely to join his team in the mid. Now that we're getting into the 25th minute, we can see some of our bigger items coming out here. There's the Black Cleaver finish on Chris. That's going to not only help out Tails, but also get Snuggled when he jumps into the fight. An Accelerated Shock Blast could weaken quite a few of the armors of anyone in the back line that gets hit. And get Snuggled with a Black Cleaver of his own, really just working to tear down the armor. They're going to the back line. Tails making a fool out of me once again. I told you he was going to go for a Bloodthirster Last Whisper with that pickaxe pickup, but no, he's just going to pick up a second pickaxe. The second pickaxe has been picked up. Pikarooski. Poughkeepsie. Pequeño. That means small. With that Infinity Edge, he'll be looking pretty strong. Who knows, maybe he's going to get the Last Whisper before that. Maybe he's going to get a Zephyr and a Maw Malmortius with that pickaxe. Who knows? Anything could happen. Oh, impactful. Gonna turn this around on the Tails. Look at the damage coming out. Tails throws up the coal, and he's going to hit those minions once again, and he barely survives off the end. Impactful looking so strong, but can he carry his team? We'll see exactly how they do in the middle lane. It looks like they're going to go on the aggressive since they know that two members in the bottom lane are already retreating from Impactful's Axie Rain. Weststrike stealing away those rays. Typical Rise teamfight contribution. As it looks like our fight might actually break out soon. Tails stealing away this blue buff. Well, from himself. He didn't steal it. He took it. It's his. You go, Tails. The Tails finishing off the blue buff is going to mean this turret goes down to the side of Complexity. vVv not looking too hot going in here, although they still have the gold in their lead. They just aren't able to use it effectively, and it's so hard to jump in onto what can be seen as a disengaged comp even. They have movement speed from Impactful and Weststrike to stay in the back. Crawley going to be the most vulnerable member, but has the range to stay on the side unless Chris can jump in. He's looking for it. There's a Culling coming across, hitting nothing. Typical Lucian team by contribution. All the Grasping Roots definitely claiming the life of Chris there. And with a 5 versus 4, although several ultimates were blown, actually all of them, literally every ultimate from Complexity blown, they're going to keep pushing on, knowing that that's 7 kills and 7 assists that aren't there for vVv. Oh, Complexity, they want this inhibitor turret. They want the inhibitor. That's going to be the first major objective we've seen taken, and look at the damage that Tails takes as soon as he gets snared away. Now, they did lose Captain Ziploc for that. Peckinwolf was able to get in and dish out the damage they needed for the assassination, and that'll keep this inhibitor turret alive for a little bit. Chris is up soon, but instead Impactful is just going to tank up the turret, remove this inhibitor turret, and then move back. Not wait around for Chris to make any sort of pickups. Any pickaxe pickups? Well, there's the Infinity Edge finally finished. I am no liar, and Tails finishes the item on time as expected. Now, I expect that to be a Last Whisper. If it is a Maw Malmortius or a Zephyr, you can draw dirty things on my face when I fall asleep at a party. I don't know. Oh, Bubba Dub, can he escape from this one? It looks like Chris is going to help him using that knock back. The staggering, but no. Oh, Chris, come on, help me out here. Help me out here. You guys are making thundering below to save Bubba Dub off the end of that team fight. That little plant man deserved it. There's the Zhonya's completed on Zyra, but still no Zhonya's for Morgana, which means we still aren't going to see very many successful soul shackles in a fight. And if you were looking for today's tongue twister of the day, it would be successful soul shackle. Successful soul shackle. Successful soul shackle. Successful soul shackle. Go me. That unsuccessful Soul Shackle champion will take away Dragon as Tails looks for the 1 versus 1. He's able to pick it up against Impactful. Now, Chris was there for the assist, but I'm not sure he did all too much. Tails finally claiming this kill up against his nemesis will mean that there are so many champions in the bottom lane. There's no one to stop this Baron, which will fall to Complexity. Peckinwolf comes across the side. No, he comes in. He steals the Baron away. What?
been destroyed.
Alright, alright. Alright.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Not only did he steal it away, but his team was still pushing in the bottom lane. Oh man, that was a beauty to behold. This inhibitor turret going to fall, but Gonti and Get Snuggled caught up by the grasping roots on top of the strangled thorns. Gonti escapes off the side, and Chris actually turns around for the kill on the Bubba Dub, now impactful. The next target, but Tails falls, as well as Peck and Wolf. Ooh, Chris going down, and everyone falling. Gonti, the only one left alive. And it looks like that might have been a slight overextension on the side of vVv. Whew, that was a beautiful Baron steal. My accolades to Peck and Wolf. And now we'll see if the game's ever going to end. Because I would like to see a winner, but it's just so darn close. We've really seen a lot of one-person assassinations, which will lead to some pretty big pickups. So if we see another one soon, like onto Peckinwolf here, then maybe that'll open up a lot for complexity. Although Prawley and Captain Ziplock really need some more help before they move in. This means that Westrice is free to go on the Tails, and look at the massive damage. Tails tries to turn around. He has some good lifesteal, but it's just not good enough. Westrice picks up the kill. Puppet now runs in here, and these one-on-one assassinations are just turning into some really awkward team fights. Impactful tries to avenge his support, but ends up falling there for the double kill to get snuggled. That's 2 kills returned for 2. And a 3 versus 3 on the map. Westrice pushing up in the top lane, trying to make amends for that awful early game, finishing off the turret, and bringing his team 7-6. Oh, Westrice turns around on the Gonti in the 1 versus 2, but Gonti has the Zhonya's Hourglass finally completed, and is able to survive through the onslaught. Westrice not able to quite make the plays today's. Probably now moving onto the white, just applying pressure in the bottom lane. Gets snuggled, wants to catch him out though. He thought he had Peckinwolf coming from the side, but he most certainly does not. Get snuggled. Oh, he's not able to dodge out of that one. There is yet another living artillery. Get snuggled. Oh, time for everyone to breathe. Get snuggled gonna be able to get snuggled out of this one. Oh, Tails takes a lot of damage from the barrel roll. There's the coL coming across for a lot of deeps onto the captain. But it appears he will survive today. And my question is, I thought he was Admiral Ziplock. What happened? Was he demoted? Was he demoted? I'll have to ask him. Oh, Gonti might see his cue. No, he throws the Dark Binding onto nothing. Gets snuggled, wants to go in anyway. The Stranglethorn's not knocking up all too many. Peckinwolf moving him from the side. Able to pick up Captain Ziplock, but impactful there. Able to catch him out. Oh, gets snuggled from the side. Making a mockery of this Draven, although he's able to pick up a single kill. They lost 4 members of their team. Bubba Dub going to make it 5 as soon as he comes out of his stylish pose. Gets snuggled there with the pickup, and that is an 11 kill Kha'Zix. This might even be the game. 30-second death timers. No, they just don't have the minions they need. They should at least be able to get 2 inhibitors off of this one. I don't expect the Nexus to fall quite yet. We'll see how quickly they're able to move. There is the inhibitor going down soon, but just no minions. Tails trying to take out this turret as best he can. A little ill-advised since the rest of his team is still working on the middle lane. Crawley going to be up in 7 seconds, and it won't be the game quite yet. If they can get a third inhibitor, that might as well be the game, though, since after losing 3 inhibs, it's almost impossible to come back. You're forced inside your base for essentially the remainder of the game. Captain Ziploc moving in here, can't find the barrel roll. An excellent dark binding from Gonti keeps his team safe as they retreat into the enemy jungle, where they then take all of the buffs and set up for all of the Barons. Although, is their timing potentially a little bit off? They need to recall for their health. They have 30... No, they have 30 seconds till Dragon is up. They have 2 minutes for the Baron, so they should be fine. I will have Nightmares tonight. Holy shoot darn. That is a frightening Morgana. Complexity just scanning around, making their way downtown, walking around. As they know they're on the back foot of this game. It's almost 9 o'clock for me, which means basically 2 in the morning. Way past my bedtime. Oh, yes, I was able to get into the fight. Find the kill on the Captain Ziploc and then jump right back out. Westrice trying to stand his ground, but cannot quite do it. Crawley gets into the fight, steal as much damage as possible before going down, but Escalating surprise not able to find it, and there is the quit. Complexity knows they lost. They have left the game and conceded over to vVv, so congratulations here. And, wait for it. What's up, guys? So, that was a lot of fun. I was a little tired, so, I apologize for that, but it's good to be back in town. I'll be trying to record every day. I'll be streaming as much as I can. Remember to check out the announcement video and to vote in the poll for what days you think I should stream. I will see you next time. Bye.